Hello, fellow educators. Nice to meet you again. Today we are diving into an amazing teaching method that brings history to life in the classroom. It's called the History Timelines Method, and it's especially great for elementary classrooms because it caters to visual and interactive learning styles. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty of implementation, let's take a moment to appreciate the brilliance of this method. At its core, the History Timelines Method is all about creating illustrated timelines for history topics. This not only helps students understand the chronological order of historical events, but also grasp the connections between them. By engaging in this hands-on activity, students develop a deeper understanding of historical sequences, which is a critical skill in comprehending historical narratives. Now let's talk about how you can use the History Timelines Method in your own classroom. First things first, make sure the activity is age-appropriate. For instance, if you're working with younger students, you might focus on a simpler timeline with larger intervals, such as years, while older students can handle more intricate timelines with smaller intervals like months or even days. It's also important to consider the specific learning objectives for the lesson. What key events or periods in history do you want your students to focus on? Once you've identified the scope of your timeline, it's time to gather your materials. Think about what would be most engaging and effective for your students. You might use large sheets of paper or butcher block paper for your timeline itself. Then get creative with how you represent historical figures, events, or periods. Consider using a variety of art materials such as markers, crayons, colored pencils, or even cutouts from magazines. The key is to provide students with the tools they need to express their understanding visually. Now let's dive into the step-by-step process of creating a history timeline. Start by helping students brainstorm the key events, figures, or periods they want to include on the timeline. Encourage them to think about the sequence of events and any connections they notice between them. As they share their ideas, write them on the board and organize them in a rough chronological order. Next, divide the class into small groups and provide each group with a large sheet of paper and art supplies. Instruct them to work together to create an illustrated timeline based on the list you generated as a class. Each group should focus on a different time period or theme and encourage students to be as creative and detailed as possible in their illustrations. Once the groups have finished their timelines, have them display their work around the classroom. Then bring the class back together to discuss their creations. Ask questions to check for understanding and encourage students to reflect on the connections between different events and the challenges they faced in organizing the timeline. To make this activity even more engaging, you can have students create individual or partner timelines as homework. They can use the same art supplies you provided in class or explore other options like making a digital timeline using online tools. When students return to class, they can share their homework timelines with the class, and you can discuss the variety of approaches and representations used. As you implement the History Timelines Method in your classroom, remember to consider the needs of diverse learners. Some students might need additional support in organizing their thoughts and ideas, while others might benefit from more challenging tasks or independent research. Be sure to differentiate instruction and provide necessary accommodations or modifications. For those who need it, you can also extend the learning by having students create and perform a skit or write a song or poem about a significant historical event. In conclusion, the History Timelines Method is a fantastic way to help students understand and remember historical events. By creating illustrated timelines, students engage in active learning, which enhances their comprehension and retention of information. So give it a try and let your students bring history to life through the power of visuals and storytelling. We'd love to hear about your experiences using the History Timelines Method in your classroom. Share your thoughts, tips, and resources in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more teaching ideas. Thanks for watching and happy teaching.